Hey guys, I hope you're having a wonderful day and thank you so much for tuning in today's episode. I've always believed that numbers have an influence on us. Our numbers that we use, our phone numbers that we have, our birth dates, and everything. There's so many things that have to do with numbers. And so I'm very happy that I can present to you today's interview with Soley. She is a business coach, but she uses a lot of numerology in her work, and she explains to us how we can use business numerology for our business to support ourselves. So for now, have a great time tuning in and listening to the wonderful Soley. Have fun. So excited. Thank you very much. Hi, everybody, here on welcome to today's episode of Living Spiritual Greatness. I'm so happy to have Jo here with me. The only thing that I know is she works with numerology, and it's so exciting. So I'm very excited to have the interview with her today. But before we get started, hello, Jo. How are you?
Hi. Good, thank you. How are you?
Very good. Thank you. I'm very excited to have you here on the podcast. Maybe for all our listeners and viewers that don't know you yet, can you tell us who you are today?
Yeah, of course. So my name's Jo Soley, and my business is Bizology, and I help you elevate your business success using the power of numerology, of numbers, because numbers are magic, they're energy, they're life, they're cosmic, they're inherent, and they're related to dates, places, and people. So using the old ancient science, philosophy, and methodology of numerology, we really show you who you are, and then from that place you can build your business.
Oh, thank you so much. I think it's so amazing. I've had a couple of people doing numerology with me, including my shamanic teacher back in the day when I was still learning with him. And it was really amazing how numbers can really influence your life. We'll get back to that a little bit later, but maybe for now, how did you become a numerologist? How did that find its way to you?
Okay, so I'm a business coach. I'm not a numerologist, but I use numerology in my work. So I've got 25 years experience in marketing and business development and sales, but I work with heart-centered female business owners mainly in the well-being and spiritual arena. I've done that for 6 years. I brought numerology into my world about 3 years ago. I went to an event on International Women's Day in 2017, and the keynote speaker, Richard Abbott from the Hermitage Development Centre, his opening kind of catchphrase was, "Forget International Women's Day, it's International Women's Millennium." So then I was like, ooh, all because we're working with the energy of the number 2, which we may talk about later. So everything he said that night created massive aha moments for me, big light bulb moments, and it really kind of woke me up to who I am at soul level, why I'm here, my purpose, my potential. And I started to read a lot about numerology. I did a course at the London College of Psychic Studies. I kind of immersed myself into this world, and numbers are very, well, they're energy, they're pure magic, they're cosmic, they're deep, they're fundamental of form. Nothing happens in life without numbers, as I said. So from that place, it opened me up. It opened up my intuition. It opened up really my connection to why I'm here and what I'm here to do in line with my numeric energies. And then I just brought it into my business. It came to me in meditation that I was to call my business Bizology, and it's just kind of skyrocketed really very quickly, like things do when you're on path. So yeah, 3 years ago, one wet March evening, I heard a guy talk about it, and then I just ran with it. So we are the negative of our numbers. So when we stop doing those, the positives play out. There's better years and easier years to do things. We work in 9-year cycles. So it's really powerful when you can align to that energy.
Yes. How would you say, like, did you know your purpose before you got into numerology, or did it, so in a way that it confirmed your purpose, or did you just got more into it when you found numerology for yourself?
So I think it aligns, I think it highlights, I think it intensifies, it helps you focus. So
Mm.
I knew I was an old soul. I knew I had some big stuff to do this lifetime, and you can see that in my numbers. But I'm working with the energy of the number one, which is all about leadership, which is all about innovation, which is all about new beginnings, which is about being the leader. So I tried to, get married, have kids, have a 2.4 bedroom detached house, like society says, and it just wasn't fitting. I'm single, I'm 47, never married, no children. Trying to fit into society didn't work, and it's not meant to, because of my numbers. I'm meant to be doing things that are different. I'm meant to be the leader. I'm meant to be innovative. I'm meant to be authentic. I'm meant to be working my number one. But I was working in the negative of one of my other numbers, which is easy to go to. And when life doesn't work, we can end up in one of these numbers. So I was working in the 9, which is the humanitarian and being naive and too nice and overgiving and no boundaries. And, how was life working out? Not very well. But I knew I was meant to be independent. I knew life wasn't working because I was on the wrong horse, on the wrong course. So then when I could align to that, then it was so powerful, because I stopped doing what everybody else wants you to do, and really life wasn't working for many reasons, but I refused to conform, and I hated being told what to do, and I would never put myself in a box, and then I tried to, and then I couldn't, and then I tried to, and then I couldn't. So I knew at soul level that wasn't working, but I'd always give it a go, and then it wouldn't work, then I'd give it a go, then it wouldn't work, then I'd give it a go. But numerology gives yourself permission to be yourself unapologetically, because everybody else is taken, as Oscar Wilde says, so you can really align to who you're meant to be.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And yeah, and it's basically giving you confirmation to be yourself, to be authentic, right?
Yeah,
Something that
definitely.
everybody probably feels inside of them, like you said, trying to fit in, and you don't fit, but you're still trying, and then suddenly you have the how do you say, yeah, you have the permission to just go ahead and don't do what everybody else wants you to do.
Yes, so you get like massive aha moments related to what you are meant to be doing, and you can stop with the negative of our numbers. So if we stop doing what we're not meant to be doing and really align ourselves to who we are and what we're here to do, then the magic happens. So there was a couple of years of really, it's not a magic wand. You don't find out your number and then that's it. You've got to take action, and you've got to align every single day. It's a life's work. It doesn't stop. But when you appreciate how other people see you because of your name, your name isn't who you are, it's who you look like you are. So when you change your name, you change your life. And we have 4 roads to walk. We have a life path, an approach, an ultimate goal, a link. When you align to those numbers and just work with those, work with the negative of those, stop doing the negative, align to the positive, everything else is just guidance. You can move forward based on this 9-year cycle, because sometimes the tide is in, sometimes the tide is out, sometimes the tide is in, sometimes the tide is out. There's better times and easier times to do things. So when you can really appreciate why you're here, who you are, how you can use your key numbers to move yourself forward, it doesn't need to be so difficult. Life isn't meant to be easy, because we're here to do what we didn't do last time. We sign up to it. Life is a school. Life is not a playground. School has a playground. There's teachers, there's lessons. At the moment, everyone's misbehaved and we're all in detention. The sky's falling in. But when you can understand what you signed up for this time, you can see your lessons, you can see who the teachers are, you can see any karmic debt, you can see, issues that's going on in your life, and it really helps you understand. It's amazing. It's so powerful. It's game changing. It's transformational. Like lots of these modalities are, but we've forgotten how to use them.
Yeah. I think, yeah, and I think because right now when you're telling me more about it, it feels a little bit like astrology, but it's not astrology. It's just a little bit different. But it's a little bit like that it sort of like guides you towards who you are, but sort of still giving you the free will to do whatever you want to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, astrology is based on planets, and there's lots of houses and
Uncertainties.
Similar. It's similar. I think numerology, what a client said to me last week, it cuts through years of therapy. So it really shows you who you are. I think more than, I mean, knowing I'm an Aries helps, knowing I've Cancer rising helps, knowing I've got my moon in Aries helps, my Venus is in Aries, I've got so much fire, that really helps. But it's similar in numerology because I've got so much one, which is fire. So yeah, there's that correlation, and it does really, it helps knowing the astrology connection. But I think with the numerology, for me, because everyone's journey is different, it cuts through so much and it shows you the truth, because you can't hide from the truth. So it shows you so much, so blatantly and so quickly. And then you're like, oh my God, I've wasted so much time going around in circles. It just gets there.
But and I think also one of the points that you just said that I find amazing is actually getting like this permission to be yourself, because so many, like you said, it's about, we try so hard to fit in, to know, like we want to be liked, we want to be with our co-workers, with our family, with whatever, we always just want to fit in, because in the end I feel so many of us just want to belong somewhere. And now there's like a way that actually gives you permission to allow yourself to just be yourself.
Yeah, and some numbers need other people more than others. So 3, 6s and 9s really need that connection. My number 1, we don't, right? It's about independence. I have to make my life about me. From that place I serve others. 9s, they've got to make their life about them. Other people, service over success, and then make it about other people, and then they make it about them. Okay, so some numbers like 1s and 7s, we don't really need a relationship. We can have a loving relationship, but we don't need one. So when we come at a place of want rather than need, that's so empowering. But some numbers, no judgment, do need more connection more than other people. Some numbers are hypercritical of themselves, like you're working with a number 8. Female 8s are so critical of self, really critical of self, whereas a 3 would worry more than what other people think of them. A 2 needs that connection, but you're not the number next to you, so I don't need it so much. So that's why it's been so powerful, because I know I'm amazing on my own. I could not, like during lockdown, I've hardly seen anybody, just worked online all day, done my own thing. I'm fine, absolutely fine. Some numbers wouldn't be fine with that, okay? But because I know I am, and because I know that my lesson is all about independence, and then going deeper, my lesson is about difficult situations with people in power, like your father, like teachers, like bosses, then the best thing one can do is be self-employed, which it is perfect for me. So what we don't want to do is go down rabbit holes and get loads of information. You know, you can imagine what I get tagged into. Oh, I just had a dream and what I dreamt of the number 9 times 2 to the power of 7. We don't want to go there. But when we just look at the energies, top line, what's going on, so much juice is available to us. So I've just explained a little bit about each number. So you imagine really feeling into that and what that means for your life, then, you know, that explains why I've lived in 15 countries, probably 40 houses, had 13 relationships, and tried to make it work. But it's not going to work unless because I'm not here to be to kind of be a mother of loads of kids and be in a really, really deep relationship. I mean, I can if I want, but I'm here more to work with me, and then from that place I can have a relationship. So yeah, every number's different, and there's 7.5 billion people in the world. We're not just going to look at the number 1 and right, you're like that, you're like that, you're like that, right? I'm born on the 4th, so my approach is to be very organized, very structured. I need a plan. You know, I'm very tidy. I know what I'm doing. I'm a workaholic. But it's easy for me to stay in 4. It's easy for me to make my bed, do my washing up, tidy up my to-do list, right? But that's not going to make me a 6-figure businesswoman. I need to get into 8 and to 1. I need to align to my 1 energy and use my 4 to work with it. Okay, and that's where the magic happens. So I've X'd my bottom line about 160% in the last 3 years by just removing the negative of my numbers. So the negative of 4 is too rigid, too inflexible. The negative of 1, people pleasing. People pleasing brings humiliation. So when you know this magic, you just align to that, and it works because there's no mistakes. If you've got a number, you've got it for a reason.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. This is so interesting. How is it, because you just mentioned with the 15 countries, how is it for you to do that? Because I mean, if you said, like you said, the 1 is supposed to be independent. How did it work for you? Because this is something that I encounter as well whenever I travel. On the one hand, to be open for the new culture that I'm with, because even though it's similar, there's always something a little bit different about every country. And on the other hand, still being yourself, you know, because on one hand we want to adjust to the new country or the place we're staying in, but on the other hand it's also about being authentic, right, and staying yourself.
Yeah, I think with me it was running away though, because I just was always trying to fit in. I was always trying to kind of work out. I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved living abroad, working abroad. I did it for 10 years. But what happens is you throw the baby out with the bathwater. So then you've got to start again. That was my experience. So then I was starting again. So what I'm working on now is my ultimate goal, which is the same as your life path. My ultimate goal is 8. It's success and wealth. So it's about that sustainability. So I've been living in the same place now for 3 years, which is huge for me because my pattern is to run or to go somewhere else, right? But no, so I've just made myself stay still for a bit. And so I've managed to create, instead of throwing everything in the bin all the time, to spiral up, to spiral up, to spiral up. So I am thinking about moving to the next place, which is in line with my personal year 3, which is about growth and communication and change. But I'm doing it from a very aware place. I'm not doing it because I'm like chasing something that I can't find. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I think the difference is the consciousness. Because in the moment that I make it a conscious decision instead of a emotional, I need to run away. And this is so weird because we need our emotions as well to guide us sometimes. But in this case, I think consciousness is not our head, because our head can get in the way as well. It's more like something about knowing yourself, knowing your soul, having that connection, right? And just going from there.
because there's always two things going on, what's going on and what's really going on. So my numbers show me what's really going on. So it might be that, you know, me maybe wanting to move away is what's going on, but what's really going on, why do I want to move away? So I think that's, and then when you get still and I listen, I meditate and I ask, I use tarot, but you know if you're running, and you know if it's time for your next experience. And since I've really understood who I am, I can see when I'm working in the negative of my numbers. I can see when I'm on path, you know. You get external feedback, don't you? Money is a byproduct of your alignment. The more you're aligned you are, the more money you bring in. So that's quite a good monitor as well.
Oh yes. How would you suggest to people to find their negative and positive of their numbers?
Well, I've got a free guide on my website you can download, joesoley.com. It shows you how to work out your life path number, and I've put, you know, a little bit about the positive and the negative in there, so you can have a look at that. But it's not learning as much as we can about the numbers, like I said before, because some people really go down rabbit holes. It's the quality of the of understanding the numbers. And you know, so if you read something about, say if you're an 8 and the negative of 8 is well, being hypercritical of self. Sometimes 8 in the negative, one end can be dominating and bossy, but the other end, they can let other people walk all over them, bit of a doormat. Okay, so the 8s have to be, look at the tarot card, it's strength, right? And she's got the lion, and the lion's under control, and she's got a crown on, and she's ruling, but she's bringing people up to her level. She's not lording it all over them, and she's got that strength of her conviction. So a lot when I speak on stage, when I do a podcast, when I do a guest masterclass, the 8, so the ladies or the gentlemen, mainly women actually, at the end, who say, that's not me, 8, I'm not an 8, I'm not an 8. So I say, how's life working out for you? And they say, wow. So the thing is, if you are an 8, that's where the magic happens. So to align to the positive of 8 is high standards, quality over quantity, professional, you know, it's high ticket, it's high end, it's Giorgio Armani, it's Usain Bolt, it's Barbara Streisand, it's Joan Collins, it's Naomi Campbell, it's Liza Minnelli. So you can see the polarity, but it is about really being strong in your convictions. So I use famous people quite a lot in my work, because then you can see.
Yeah, it's more visible.
Yeah. So for you, it'd be a lot easier for you to work in the 21, which is 3, because you're born on the 21st. So it'd be a lot easier for you to be communicative, work with healing, lead from the front, creative. But that's not going to really get you to that next level. So it's about using that 3, like being a podcast host, to align you to your 8. Does that make sense?
It completely does, because I think it's amazing. I'm sad that other 8s don't see themselves, but the moment you said that self-critical, I was like, oh my God, how did you know? Because for me, it's like, I remember one of my ex-bosses, because I used to be in the corporate world, and one of my bosses actually looking at me and going like, how can you be so extreme critical with yourself and be so easy on everybody else?
Yeah.
And so that's why for me it's always been like, I know I'm very critical with myself. But also one of the things that has been changing in the past couple of months is that I see myself more and more being even more authentic. Like right now in my business, I've been finding things where I was, how how do you call that when you get like a beep? Um, Sometimes I get confused with the languages, but basically censoring. I felt like I was
Okay.
censoring myself.
Yeah, yeah.
I was afraid of maybe some clients not being, oh, what are they going to say, or what are the people going to think? And I feel that that censoring has gone away. Like I started to not do it because of my convictions. I need to stand with my convictions, right? So it's bad if I keep censoring them. So yeah, you got me completely. I'm right there.
Uh, well, also, we work in 9-year cycles. There's better years and easy years to do things. And like I said, I'm in a 3-year, which is about growth and communication and expansion and change. You're in a 4-year, which the universe will shine a light on all of the things that you need to mend. So anything that's weak in structure, because 4 is about structure, control, routine, and system. Anything weak in structure this year, the universe will shine a light on it. So it is business, systems, it's money, it's relationships. This is a year to get your ducks in a row, to write a list, to work through it, to put your head down, to work hard, to get on with it. And then next year, birthday to birthday, you'll be in your 5-year, which is growth and freedom and adventure and change, because sometimes the tide is in, sometimes the tide is out. But we can't, all these businesses get stressed out if they're not bringing in more money than the month before or the year before. But, you've got this, we can't grow. We've got to grow, consolidate, grow, consolidate, grow, consolidate. So you're in a consolidation phase. Doesn't mean you can't make money. Of course you can. But the emphasis, it's very clear what you've got to do this year, birthday to birthday. Very clear what I've got to do this year, birthday to birthday. Every day this week, I've had a podcast interview or delivering a masterclass or 2 or 3 or something, or some kind of interview or masterclass or speaking gig every day, because I'm in a 3-year. So because I know that, then all my efforts have gone in to making sure that happens, to my intentions, my message, the content I'm putting out there, and that is my main lead generator. So I know that in my 3-year I've got to speak, but I know when I get into my 4-year I'll be doing what you're doing, which is making sure that there's structure with everything. And I'm born on the 4th of the 4th, so I quite like 4 energy. But some people do struggle with the 4 energy if it's not in their name. You've got 4 in your name because M, the letter of your first name, is 13, which is 4. But if somebody's missing 4, like I've got loads of 4 in my chart, but I haven't got 4 in my name. So I cannot get away with the extra glass of wine, not that I drink anyway, but the extra night with no sleep, the extra cup of coffee, the extra cream cake. I can't get away with that behaviour. I can't get away with not checking my account 60 times after I've done it, because there have been a mistake. I can't get away with going to the airport and not checking my passport 12 million times because of this no 4 energy. So in our names we have things missing, but our name isn't who we are, it's who we look like we are. So I've made my brand very 3 because it's my name expression number, but I'm not very 3 at all, but I look like I'm 3. So people treat me like I'm a 3, so I behave like I'm a 3. So this is how I work with people, to help them understand how they're seen, because who you think you are and who other people think you are is really different.
This fits so much to how I was in the corporate world, because when I was there, everything was I was like very structured. I was very organized, and now it's like, no, I can't do that. I don't want. I mean, I do. It's weird because I still feel like I do have like a natural structure within me, but it's not the normal one that everybody, like the one that that you start working at 9, you work until 5, like you have everything organized like this. That's not, no, my inner clock is a little bit different, I think.
Yeah. Well, whereas I'm very much, get up at 5:30, 6, start about 7:30, 8, keep going until a certain time. But that works for me because of my 4-4.
Mm-hmm.
But then being too structured and too inflexible and too rigid is the negative of 4. So I've got to watch that a bit, because then you miss opportunities. But somebody without any 4 anywhere has to really make sure they put that in. I've got a Facebook group with about 800 women in, and they stress out about their year 4. And it's like, no, you don't need to. It can be an amazing year. You just got to get your ducks in a row. And then the more organized you are in your 4 year, the higher you can fly in your 5 year. Because you imagine we're in a plane. In a 1 year, the plane takes off. In an 11 year, because it goes 11, not 2, because of the digit in the calculation, it hits turbulence in the plane, because 11s are always emotional, but it's an amazing year for spirituality and meditation. Then in a 3 year, like, you get a drink from the minibar and talk to everyone on the plane, because it's like not difficult to be a 3. So it's not difficult to be in a 3 year. You just want to talk. So we want to communicate in our business. But then in the 4 year, we've got to land our plane. Everyone has to get off. We've got to clean it and mend the cracks. So that's what's kind of happening in your world. And then in the 5 year, everyone gets back on the plane, but you go off in a different direction for the last 4 years. It's about freedom and expansion and change and growth.
Oh yes, I can really relate to that, because actually it feels like the weirdest thing, especially this year for my birthday, is because it was new moon and we had the lunar eclipse, and it was so weird because I mean it was during the pandemic as well, and the pandemic already felt like everything was a little bit slower, and then suddenly that day hit, and I remember I wanted to go to bed early, but I was still up, and then I see someone posting the live of the lunar eclipse, and I watch it, and ever since then it's felt like someone has put my life into speed, you know, like someone pushed do you say the full throttle, the gas, and it's like everything is going so fast, but it's like it's bringing up so many things, like take that, you know, like seeing myself, censoring myself and things like that. Like it's become very visual for me. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, because I was just thinking as well what you said about the moon. That was a full moon in Cancer, wasn't it? Or was it a new moon?
No, that was a new moon. New
moon. Yeah, so that was massive, that moon. Yeah.
That was like
yeah, huge. Yeah, and then then the eclipse. So like your birthday wasn't that long ago. So these years take about 4 to 6 weeks to kick in. So you'll start to really feel it soon.
Yeah. So excited to see what happens, because it's still very creative, right?
Sorry,
it's still very creative that year.
A 4 year?
The 4 year?
No, it's more like head down, get on with it. You're just mending the cracks. Mm-hmm. Because in life, 4 keeps us organized. So, you know, we've got 4 fingers, we've got 4 seasons, we've got 4 directions, we've got 4 mm-hmm. elements, mm-hmm. we've got 4 legs to a chair, we've got 4 packs and suits and a pack of cards, we've got 4 gospels, we've got 4 chambers of our brain, 4 chambers to our heart. So every number tells a story, like 7 days of the week, 7 seas, 7 pillars of menorah, etc. Right? So mm-hmm. every number tells us a story. So 4 keeps us organized. So in a 4 year, you got to get organized. And the more organized you are, the more you can move forward. But the more that there's room for weak areas to show, then in a 4 year they will show. So if there's weak areas in a relationship, they'll show. It's so you can mend them, so then you can move forward. So one of my clients got actual subsidence in her house. Her house was cracking. You know, another of my clients, their dog lost its leg. But it might be like you have to literally get all your finances, get a fine tooth comb and go through it. It might be that certain members of your team aren't fitting. It might be certain messages you're putting out there aren't working. It might be certain products you're selling aren't happening. It might be people you're hanging out with, you know, relationships have run out of steam. And we need to work on these things, because otherwise, you know, it all becomes a bit messy.
Yeah, and probably see all the things that might seem negative, to see them as something positive, because it's something that I need to move forward, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. This is so exciting. So for everybody who's interested, we're definitely going to put down your links below, so that they can see where they can find you, and also get more into numerology. I think it's very exciting. I've always done, like, it's funny you mentioned number 3, because this is like, whatever, a lot of the things I do, I base on number 3, because it's just one of my favorite numbers. And now I'm probably going to start doing it with the 8. Because I remember I had the 8 somewhere in there, but I've never worked with it. But now it's you've given me the idea to go more into that.
So I use 8 a lot in my pricing, because then it vibrates with the 8 energy. Mm-hmm. It's good to look at the number of house you're in, because then that will feel the energy. You know, it's good to add up your phone number and see what energy people are ringing you on or contacting you through. It's good to look at the energy of your PIN number, you know, for your bank and everything. So what was I felt like I had to really say something. Oh yeah, another thing I want to say, because it feels really special, we're having this call today on a Friday, and Friday is Vendredi in French, and it's ruled by Venus. So everyone says they love Friday because it's the last day of the week, but it's nothing to do with that. It's because it's ruled by Venus. So if you tune in to the energy today, you can really feel that there's this soft feminine energy, there's this soft power, and on a Friday we can't push it like we can on a Tuesday and a Wednesday and Thursday, because they're masculine planets. This day is a Venus day, so it's great for self-care, it's great for self-love, it's great for these kind of things, you know. We can't push it. But that just kept coming in. It felt important to say that today.
Yeah, no, I think because it's also the interesting part about seeing how the week also has its numbers, right?
Yeah. Or connection to the planets.
Yeah. So interesting, which also brings back the connection to astrology, because I made it earlier. It's all intertwined. I think it's so amazing. There's so many, I think it's so interesting once you start going into numbers, because also I feel they're also very connected with holy geometry as well. Is it called holy?
Of course, sacred.
Or sacred geometry, yeah, as well. And there's so much connected. And if I feel like it's like the mathematics of this hidden in our planet, basically everywhere, right?
Yeah, no, definitely.
So beautiful. Oh, thank you, Jo. This was very, very exciting. One last question that I ask all my experts coming here as a guest on my podcast. What do you have, like, a book that you can recommend, or something that has like a book that has maybe moved something inside of you, or that you can say, this one changed so many things, that was so interesting? Maybe the one that you started reading for numerology.
Yeah, there is a good book. It's called Your Days Are Numbered, by Florence Campbell. Mm-hmm. It's I had to get mine flown from the States, it's an old book. It was written in 1931, but it's nothing changes with numerology. It's as old as the hills, but it's as new as the next decision you're going to make. So, Your Days Are Numbered, Florence Campbell. It's really, really good.
Oh, that's so interesting, because that the interesting thing about reading books that are that old is seeing how many things actually haven't changed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she talks about tea rooms instead of Facebook, but apart from that.
Oh my God, that's so beautiful. Thank you very much. I will also link that one under the video or in the show notes if you're watching it there. And of course, all the information about Jo, if you want to get to know her, if you want to start working with her, if you're a business, is it just women or is it also men?
Oh, men
that
as
work
well.
with you?
Yeah, yeah.
So men and women out there that want to have their business looked at a little bit different more with numerology, because I believe that it has a lot of strength and power in there. Go look Jo up. We're going to put all the details in the show notes so that they can find you. This was so exciting. Thank you so much
You're
for giving us
welcome.
such a great and deep insight into numbers and how they can actually explain ourselves. And I hope that a lot of people listening in get an idea of how they can help themselves with this maybe, and actually maybe even come and join you to have you work with them together.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. And for everybody listening, and thank you also for tuning in again. Have a wonderful time. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to post it today right away, but just in case it's a weekend, have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.